Knowing the difference between the flu and other viruses can help prevent you from getting sick. Here to tell us what we should be on the lookout for is Dr. Ken Redcross, an internist. Welcome back. Nice to see you.
Good morning. It's wonderful to be here with you guys. It is cold today, so it's important that we talk about becoming virus vigilant like we will today.
I like that. Let's see what we can do. So what kinds of things do we see most around this time of year, aside from the flu, really?
You know, it's interesting because you're absolutely right. Now, the flu is the main virus that we think about, but I wanted to make sure that we realize that today, not everything that looks like the flu is the flu this time of year. So there are some other viruses that I at least wanted everyone out there to know some of the signs and symptoms, because it's important to get to your doctor at that point. It's important to get to them soon.
Okay, let's start with influenza though. Signs and symptoms.
All right, so influenza signs and symptoms tends to be the fever, chills, but the big thing you worry about, those body aches. That's when you know, like, oh my gosh, this is a little bit more than a cold, and it's important to make sure that you get to us as soon as you can. Now keep in mind, influenza affects our economy to the tune of $87 billion a year and ends up resulting in about 30 million patient visits to my office and doctors' offices all across the United States. But when you're dealing with the flu, it's all about getting to your doctor early. Now, if you come to your doctor early enough, there are some things that we can use with our prescription pad. And you may remember, I'm more of a natural guy.
Yes.
But there are some things. But if you don't, consider a homeopathic ingredient called oscillococcinum.
Okay.
See, oscillococcinum has been shown to decrease both the severity and the duration of flu-like symptoms. Not only that, oscillococcinum showed in the study 60% of people felt better within 48 hours if they actually took that. So that's something that I'd love to kind of bring in when we're staying closer to the earth.
Okay, and doing something as soon as you start to feel those symptoms, obviously that kind of intervention can really change things.
That's the key when you're dealing with any of these viruses, but in particular influenza.
Okay.
Now the other virus we'll talk about is a virus that you don't think you heard of, but you have, because it shuts down cruise ships and a lot of the daycares. It's the Norovirus.
It's the Norovirus, yes. You hear a lot about the cruise ships, yeah.
You really do, and I brought this because I have to remind everyone, soap. Soap is so important because you have to keep your hands very, very washed. It's very infectious. And I wanted to bring a water bottle, and I wish I had some coconut water, because so many people say, Doc, I don't really like water. But it's important with the norovirus. You got to stay hydrated because you lose so many electrolytes. Most of the time you get nausea, vomiting. Thank God it usually only lasts about 48 to 72 hours.
Okay, and what else do you want to talk about here? There's something else that we see.
There is, and there's something else. Now, typically you see this in children under the age of 10. It causes a blistering rash on the hand, foot, and the mouth. It is called the Coxsackie virus, or the hand, foot, and mouth disease. Now, I brought this up because typically you'll see this in kids, but we had an outbreak in Florida State University some months ago, and everyone was like, what's going on? This is a pediatric disease. Well, no, not necessarily. The hallmark of disease that really unites all these are fever. Fever is something that you have to make sure that, number one, that you're taking it, and number two, you think about some ways to actually bring your fever down. Yes, there's some medications out there, but you can also use cool compresses, that sort of thing. I brought yogurt here because yogurt also has those wonderful probiotics that we're all learning about. So these are things that we could do. So we could kind of fight this season, and we could do this naturally. And last but not least, there is no role for antibiotics in any of these.
He was just talking about this beforehand, right? That's not going to do anything for you.
Exactly. So do not get mad at your doctor if he or she says, you know, you don't need anything. This is all supportive care. That's just good-fashioned medicine, and these actually most of the time go away on their own, especially the Coxsackie virus. It's self-limited. And
so really paying attention to these symptoms and trying to intervene as soon as you can really goes a long way.
It goes a super long way, because when you get into our office, we can come together, we can diagnose all these things together and really start to pinpoint which direction should we really go.
Okay, and if people wanted to reach out to you, what's your website? How can they connect with you?
So my website is drredcross.com. My Twitter handle is @drredcross, and by all means, say hello on Facebook. It's Ken Redcross, MD.
All right, we're going to have a link on our website to all of yours. All right, thank you so much. Wonderful to see you. We'll be right back after this.